So there's this guy, Kevin Bowie, 16 years old, and he's not exactly what you'd call a good kid. He's deep into the streets, dealing pills, chasing money, and living reckless. But one night, something happens that'll flip his entire life upside down. Kevin's out selling his unlicensed products when, bam, the deal goes bad. A guy robs him, takes everything. But the thing that cuts deepest, the thief steals his iPhone. And to Kevin, that's more than just a phone. That's his pride, his connection, his world. So now, he's furious, humiliated, and he swears he's going to get revenge. Kevin doesn't hunt the thief alone. He calls two kids who will follow him into anything. Gavin, 16, trouble in his eyes, and Dylan, 14, reckless and eager to prove himself. They meet, whisper, and the anger becomes a plan. Kevin opens Find My iPhone, traces a ping to a nearby neighborhood, and in his head, the location becomes a target. He's convinced the phone and the thief are inside that house. He needs to make a statement. He needs to make them hurt. They scheme like kids in a movie. Gasoline, masks, a night raid. They map the house, scroll through photos online to memorize rooms, buy cans of fuel, and snag cheap masks from a costume shop. Every stupid detail feels like power. Weeks pass. The three of them practice the route, time the streets, and wait for the dark. Kevin's voice is calm now. Not scared, not second-guessing, only certain. On the night they pick, it's 2 a.m. The city is asleep. Their footsteps soft, their breaths shallow. They slip into hoodies, pull masks down, and move toward the house that Kevin believes holds his stolen iPhone and everything he thinks was taken from him. They creep around the back, lights off, hearts pounding like cheap drums. A neighbor's security camera catches shadows slipping past the yard, vague shapes with masks, but the boys don't care. They find the back door, force it, and move like they've rehearsed 100 times. Gasoline pours over the hallway, the curtains, the carpet, a ritual of rage. Kevin watches every lick of liquid as if it's a countdown. When the last can is empty, one of them strikes a match. Flame eats the fuel. The boys run. Smoke billows fast. Inside, the house is not the thief's. 2 families sleep, 8 people in total, babies crying in their rooms. Alarms scream, panic rips the night apart. A father smashes a bedroom window and jumps, catching his daughter in his arms. A mother follows, bleeding from glass. From another room, someone fights through smoke, calling names. A patrol officer, drawn by the blaze, kicks the front door and flashes inside, then stumbles back, driven out by heat. Firefighters arrive, hoses on spool, but the flames have already become a monster. When the smoke clears, 5 people are gone. The neighborhood's quiet is hollowed out. The boys melt back into their own streets, adrenaline making them ghosts. At first, it seems like they walked away. No witnesses, no clues, just a house blackened and lives erased. Morning comes and what's left is ruin. Charred walls, melted toys, silence where families used to live. Police arrive, tape off the scene, start asking questions, but nothing makes sense. Who would do this? Why this house? The survivors can't think of anyone who would ever want to hurt them. Meanwhile, Kevin, Gavin, and Dylan are back home like nothing happened. They scroll through their phones, laugh at memes, eat breakfast with their families, pretending the world didn't just burn because of them. Days pass, then weeks, then months, and somehow they're still free. But detectives keep digging. The whole thing feels too deliberate. The arson spread too fast, too clean to be random. Someone planned it. So investigators start thinking differently. Maybe the arsonist looked up the house online before the fire to find directions or to scope it out. So they get a warrant. They ask Google to hand over data, anyone who searched that exact home address in the days before the blaze. And boom, there it is. A couple of IP addresses, all from the same area. They trace them, and those addresses lead straight to 3 teenagers, Kevin Bowie, Gavin Seymour, and Dylan Siggins. Police move in. Kevin, Gavin, and Dylan are arrested. Kevin sits for his mugshot, expression flat, almost bored. Gavin's picture follows, eyes hard, silent. Dylan's too young for an official mugshot, but the record shows him nonetheless. Court comes fast. The details are shocking. The planning, the fire, the deaths. Dylan, just 14, gets 3 years in juvenile detention and 7 years in a youth program. Gavin, 16, is sentenced to 40 years in prison. Kevin, the ringleader, 16 at the time of the crime, gets 60 years behind bars. And the most haunting part? Nobody ever finds out who stole Kevin's iPhone. All that rage, all that planning, and it was for nothing. The story leaves a scar. A brutal reminder of how a moment of anger, unchecked and unthinking, can destroy lives far beyond the person you meant to punish.